Hey, what's up? What's up? James Buckley here, coming to you live here from my home office here in Cedar Grove, Tennessee. Hey, I am the creator of JamesABuckley.com and Divine Insight for Prosperity. Hey guys, I am a business consultant and a life coach, and I share and train a lot about the aspects of personal development and aspects of people changing the level of their thoughts to where they can move to another level of entity to attain that which they want to attain. A lot of people in life, guys, they struggle in reference to just everyday living because of their thought process. So I wanted to share with you today 4 benefits of good listening. When it comes to sales and directly giving yourself the kind of energy that it takes to align yourself in position to succeed in the industry that someone always says that people fail in this industry more than anything. But I have to tell you that people don't fail in this industry. People quit. People quit because when it comes to behavior, when it comes to attitude, and here you go, listen to this, when it comes to memorized patterns of behavior, a lot of times people don't change their memorized behaviors, and they struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle in this business model, and then they'll end up quitting. So I want to talk to you today here. I'm learning more and more about how to build a successful business by being more. You become more, you'll attract more, because the marketplace pays for the value you add to the marketplace. So if you increase your value, you'll add more value. In return, you'll get a residual effect of things and people coming to you by you positioning yourself in front of a target audience of people, and then having that result from the type of authority you become online. So I want to share some things with you in reference to that. When we talk about the 4 major listening skills that it requires when it comes to good listening, here's things that I want to talk to you about. You know, nobody ever gained trust with no one by talking first or talking too much. The most important skill there is when it comes to professional selling or professional in the network marketing industry is to talk, to build a rapport, therefore listening to start building that rapport, because the more you start to listening, the more you'll start to gain trust. So that's the first thing about good listening, is it builds trust. Got to keep in mind, 40% of selling is about the development of a trust that you bond between you and the potential prospect. That's just 40% of that. But you've got to realize that if you're not gaining that aspect of trust between the bond between you and the prospect, then you're going to first realize that they're not going to see that you're interested in them. So you got to become more interested in the person. So you got to start listening to what their issues, circumstances, situations. Because a lot of times when you're listening to people, it's not what they say that you hear. It's what you determine from the sense of listening that makes a difference in that person's life. On the other hand, there's no faster way to undermine trust than to irritate a person by talking too much. Now, when it comes to Purchasing Managers Associations of America, they said that the managers report had a survey that said that salespeople that are more of a listeners, they get more connected results than any other of the salespeople in the industry when they done an annual report. That means that they're helping people to purchase products by them listening to them and being able to come up with cost-effective ways to attach the product to the partner or the prospect without them being the one that sold them. They sell themselves by just listening to them and then answering the questions that they currently have. That's the first thing within sales, is building trust. In listening, you've got to listen in order to build trust, for a person can know that you're genuinely interested in them. The second benefit of good listening is listening lowers resistance. Hear that. It lowers resistance. Now, it reduces tension and it defensiveness on the part of any potential prospect. When you start to learn to listen, the natural nervousness that most people deal with. When you're listening to them as a salesperson or as a potential business consultant, you are paying them more attention. And the more you listen to the prospect, the more comfortable and relaxed a prospect feels. When they begin to feel relaxed and comfortable, the resistance level goes down, and then they're open to become more considerable about whatever you're offering. So keep that in mind. The second thing in listening, good listening, is it lowers resistance. The third thing that good listening does, it builds self-esteem. I want you to hear this, and it builds self-esteem. It says right here that the highest form of flattery is talking too much. Or it's been said that when we have flattery, it distinguishes the connection between you and your prospect. And when you listen attentively to a person, then they show that you genuinely care about them, and this person is saying that his or her esteem goes up when you listening to them. Now watch this now. His or her feelings of personal value increases. You can actually make another person feel terrific about him or herself by listening in a warm, genuine, caring way, and everything that they say or they're implementing to you, you're listening intently. And if you listen to someone and they're saying something and you don't understand, say, be more specific, and therefore listen. Or you say, tell me more about that, and therefore listen. So you're building their self-esteem, what you're doing, because if they think that they got something to say in reference to you sharing something with them and you listening to them, their self-esteem goes up. Anytime a man and a woman begin to connect for the first time, they spend time with each other, they looking in each other's eyes, they talking, they're listening, they're getting to know each other, they're fascinated with the personality of each other. And so therefore you got to do that in reference to prospecting and sharing and talking to people. When it comes to opposite of listening is ignoring. So if you're ignoring your prospect, the thing that's going to happen is they're going to see that you are more valuable than them. So don't ignore them. You always ignore a person by you talking too much and not listening. You always ignore them when they always feel that they're not of value when you're not listening. So the fastest way to turn a person off or to hurt their feelings or to make them feel slighted, angry, is to simply ignore them and by what they're saying, by interrupting them and cutting them off in the middle of their conversation. When you're talking to someone and they saying something, whether you have something to say at that point, it's best you have a little notepad or something. Just write down your little note while they're talking. Listen to them. Just say, go ahead, I'm listening, and just scribble a little note where you can come back and remind yourself what you want to say without interrupting them. Because if you interrupt them, that is a ignoring sense. You got to always keep that in mind. And the fourth thing in relation to good listening is this. Listening builds character and self-discipline. Now watch this. When I think about listening, building character and self-discipline, you got to understand that most people listen and understand, they say at a rate of 500 to 600 words per minute. Now, but the average person can only speak about 125 to 150 words per minute. Now, if you come to understand, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. So that tells you a whole lot right there. You're supposed to do twice as much listening as you do talking. So when it comes down to that, you got to discipline yourself, guys, to continually concentrate on the prospect and not let your mind drift. Just listening attentively and just listening to be able to find out exactly how can you meet the needs of a specific prospect. When you start thinking about things in relation to what's going on in your life, your problems, situations, or whatever, while you're talking to someone, your mind drifts. 93% of communication is nonverbal. You always learn to speak relevantly to the person, giving them eye contact, and the main thing is when they talk, you are an excellent listener. When it comes to that, I'm working on that all the time because it's more, you learn more when you listen. So listen as much as you can when you're talking to your prospect, to where you can hear the type of things that they're saying. And this skill, guys, is especially necessary when you're in the professional field of selling. If you're in a direct sales, or if you're in network marketing or MLM, if you would, it is a specific skill that you got to learn to master, is listening. Now, higher a person's self-esteem is, they're going to be more relevant to buy from you. And in that perspective, they get more respect from you when they see that you're listening to them. So in closing, I want to say this right here. The more comfortable you are with yourself when you're talking to people, readily listening after you're asked a question, ready to listen, then that prospect going to see that, they're going to know that, and you're going to be able to bring more and more success to your business and more success to your team members, because you can teach them the very mastering of listening. So good listening skills, guys, is going to be essential to your business. The 4 things I talked about. The first one, listening skill, builds trust. The second one, listening skills, it lowers resistance. The third one was good listening skills builds self-esteem. And the fourth one is listening builds character and self-discipline. Learn to listen more and ask very intelligent questions, and just listen for the response from your prospects. And definitely it's going to give you more and more aspect to share with them your information that's going to be able to help them change the quality of their life, whether it be your product, your service, your training, or some type of affiliate program that you can point them at as a tool. This is James Buckley, guys. I hope it's been some help to you. If it has, give me some thumbs up, like, share, comment. I'll always come back and respond to the comment. Again, click on the link to learn the 5 things that help you build your business online. It's a webinar I've already created. It's online ready. Click on the link above in the description. Grab that training. You have to put a good email and your name inside of that, and grab the free training. It's always good to learn the 5 essentials of how to build a business online with branding aspect and creating an audience, building an audience, engaging that audience, and selling to that audience.